Hello everyone, VanguardOfValor here, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. We've just recently returned to port in fallen London, following our adventures in the Empire of Hands, and over by the Avid Horizon, where we finished off making our deliveries for a certain red-clad figure. And I was talking earlier about how we should probably upgrade and buy ourselves a better ship, but the ships are really expensive. Unreasonably so. Thousands and thousands of echoes. Where, right now, we already have the ability to power ourselves up a little bit. The thing that we're going to go ahead and buy is we're come over here to the Wolfstack Exchange? No, the Iron and Misery Company. We're going to sell a little bit more stuff here and acquire the Leadbeater and Stainrod Bodacia. Boudica? Boudica? I have no idea how to pronounce that one. Engine, which is just about double the power of the one we've already got. It does a little bit burn more of our fuel, but we should be moving just about double the speed, so hopefully it'll all work out. We do have some other things we can sell here, though, in our inventory. A couple of them, of various values, including our Scintillac gem. And I think that's what we're going to part with here. It's probably the easiest choice at this point. If we sell the Scintillac, we should be able to manage the rest. So, we'll sell that, and that should give us more than enough money. Now if we check out the Iron and Misery Company, we can sell our elderly steeple engine. And buy our fancy new engine. If we check out our hold now, we can equip the new one. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now we should be much faster, and this should make a big difference for our ability to get around at a reasonable pace. So, we are going to head out again. Hopefully, we'll see what we can do with the Snow Child here. There's a couple of other various requests we've been asked to deal with, and we'll see what we can find along the way. One of the things, though, that I realized I have no idea what we're actually supposed to do is where we're supposed to visit in order to help out the Admiralty. The Admiralty has asked us to go to the Chelinet, so we probably could have gone there last time we were here, but I completely forgot that we were looking for something in particular, so I didn't even think about it. That'll be good to keep in mind for this journey, but now it's time for us to go and put our new engines to work. We have very little bank balance with echoes here, but hopefully we'll be able to get by with what we have. So, before we go, there's one other thing we're going to do. We're going to come here to the Alarming Scholar, and we're going to offer them some intriguing snippets. Most of these other things we have are valuable in other ways. Extraordinary Implications, Wakeful Idol we need, Captivating Treasure we need. We could get a lot of money by selling these things. The Judgment's Egg as well. Lamentable Relics aren't particularly valuable, but they're worth something. Z-Stories and Distant Shore Memories are valuable as well. But I believe the Intriguing Snippets only have this as a use. So this should bring our money back up to a more reasonable level. If we offer these... The Alarming Scholar says, "Oh ho, zesty, zesty. This one will do very well shared. Thank you. Your payment. Gives us 1 fragment and 50 echoes. And that's pretty reasonable. The Intriguing Snippets here won't do us much other good, so we can safely get rid of them to bring our money back up to a more reasonable stage. Probably could have saved the Scintillac as a result, but I'm kind of okay with having spent it there, because now we have a bit of a better bankroll here that'll allow us to potentially survive a little bit better if we have to make some purchases on the road. Either way, or on the Z, rather. So, let's test out this new engine. If everything is as predicted, we should be quite a bit faster now. Once we actually get up to speed, anyway. If we turn off the glim lamps, it'll reduce our fuel cost. But we do move at a fairly reasonable clip here. Interesting. An unexpected letter. Who sent it? And what does it say? "Return to London as soon as you may," your sweetheart says. "You're a father." We choose this option if we sired a child. We also have a letter that says, "A surprise for you on your next return to London. I've taken in a foundling." We can choose that option if we're unlikely to be either a father or mother. Or we send them a message saying, when I next return to London, I will bring an additional recruit, your child. So we can choose this option if we're the one giving birth. I think, in this case, we'll have sired a child. That was something our plan was, initially, to create an heir. So that will be what we've done. What do you know? A new life. Go quickly. We have a child. We have to return to London to look after them, and they may become a scion, allowing us to take 2 legacies. Well, what do you know? I think we should turn around and take a quick look at this, because that sounds most interesting. This is another thing I haven't actually ever done in this game before. So let's head back to port and see, perhaps, what this may involve. A new arrival. You, your sweetheart, and your child. What will your child call you? You don't want to raise the child, or you can't afford to. Turn away. Let your sweetheart raise the brat, if they can. So we can go by father, or mother, or captain, but we have to get a better home first. So that'll be our next goal. Now that we've got ourselves a better engine so we can travel the Z with much more speed, which we probably should have invested in earlier, but now we have the ability to really take advantage of. We'll try and improve our home so that we can get ourselves a little bit of a better living situation and get ourselves an ironclad will by using that captivating treasure we've acquired. And that'll be pretty useful to us. That will make us much more versatile if we do wind up dying, because that will ensure that our heir acquires all of our worth. So, for now, we will come back later. Our child is intriguing, but as of yet, we have only so much we can do. So, out to Z we go. We probably don't need the lamps just yet, so we can save a little bit of fuel. We're going to be heading down south first this time, down towards the Cumaean Canal and the Iron Republic, because I have a feeling the Iron Republic is where we're being asked to go in order to help out our little frozen friend, as well as having something to do with the Empire of Hands. From there, we may head our way down to the Grand Geode, possibly Port Carnelian, and spend some time in the south, since we haven't been there in quite a while. We're going to try and drop by the Chelinet to acquire our strategic information, and then we may or may not make our way back towards home. We'll see if we can live that long, of course, but the plan right now is to head down south first, and then swing out east towards the edges over here, to get all the things that we need. And it'll be a good way to test out our new engines, which definitely do seem considerably faster than they used to be. We're zipping along at a good pace. I believe the fuel consumption is relative to the speed, so going twice as fast means you consume your fuel twice as fast, but it does mean that we're just a little bit more versatile either way. Alright, so we have an Auroral Megalops charging us. Ooh! That was a 20 damage hit. Very nice. Well, that will not be a problem for long. We're going to butcher this Megalops for supplies. It won't give us much, but it'll give us 12 hunger back. Delicious. The crew will feast. So, we have removed that particular impediment, and we continue on our way. If we take a look at our map here, there's not a whole lot between us. Let's check out Mutton Island first, since we're here, and see if they have anything for us. I'm not sure if they do, but it's worth a check-in anyway. And then from there, we'll be able to continue down south. Waste a little bit of fuel swinging around this way, but it's nothing too serious. What's that? Is that another Auroral Megalops? I think it is. Alright, in Quakers Haven. What do we do here? We could chat to the fisherman to acquire a port report for a single echo, and we'll do that. Done. We've lost one echo, but we have a Quakers Haven port report. And we can either visit the hilltop above town, which we can do with 100% success, or explore the shore. Going to the hilltop above town is often a dangerous thing, but we're going to go take a look. There's not much wind on the Untersee, but Mutton Island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicable local fragment of weather, and the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. Toasting the wind. We stand on a cliff top, looking over the little village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upwards. As you watch, the smoke tilts. The sudden wind thins it to a pencil smudge, then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly, like a god cut in half. What a noise. It must be the caves around the island channeling the air. At least, that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals each take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. 24 fragments and 2 terror. Nothing too phenomenal, but we'll take what we can get. Alrighty then. We have nothing to sell, we have nothing else to do here, and so we move along. That Megalops must be looking for its companion, who we have so recently removed from the equation. I don't want our terror to advance too quickly, because we're already at 34, which is quite high for the current situation. We also haven't repaired our hull, so if we take too many hits, things will go badly for us in a hurry. As it stands, though, we're heading down towards the Humane Canal. What is this? What are you? Ah, it's another Auroral Megalops. That is acceptable. 3 health left. Don't hit me, please. There we go. Problem solved. All clear, and we can eat this one, too. Delicious. We'll butcher it as well for supplies. Puts our hunger back down to 0. It's handy how having these guys around to devour reduces the cost of doing all these things. Another thing I'd like to do is head up to the surface. I've never done it before. Hello. A stowaway. The quartermaster has been complaining of food going missing of late, and now we know why. The monkey Foundling sits smiling innocently behind a crate, mouth surrounded by fresh crumbs and in a bed of... Wait, your stolen clothes? Yeah, you seemed fun, she says. She desperately wants to explore the Z with you. She can earn her keep doing odd jobs for now. Our treasures need polishing, our mug needs filling. In time, maybe we can make an officer out of her. Welcome aboard. Yay! The monkey Foundling hugs us tight and asks, eyes sparking, where we keep the weapons. Well, now we have a monkey Foundling on board. Hopefully we don't come to regret that. We just won't explain where she came from. Problem solved. Let's check out the Humane Canal, though. We've got a lot of fuel. I think we could potentially make a trip to the surface. I have no idea what lies up there, or even if we're anywhere near prepared to handle such a journey. But we're going to experiment. The Humane Canal staging area. First, let's take a look at our officers. She's a mascot. Adorable. She's just way better than the Comatose Ferret, too. Get... Done. Way better than the Comatose Ferret. She offers 5 hearts instead of 1, so she's 5 times as valuable. What a cutie. Hopefully she'll help us survive this whole mess. As it stands, though, we're looking pretty good here. We've got a variety of people to talk to if we feel like it, but right now we've got other things in mind. Mainly, potentially, traveling to the surface. We'd need more fuel, though. Take 22. That's a lot of fuel. We could grab some down below and come back here, though. We could make this a very short trip indeed. Head directly from here to the Iron Republic, pick up a lot more fuel there, then come back and head to the surface and see what we can find. I have no idea what's up there, but it could be very interesting indeed. Let's gather a port report here quickly, as well as listen for surface gossip. The ships of the surface linger here. This is their lifeline to a warmer place. This would be a prime spot for a pub or wine shop, but the interests of the Echo Bazaar and the laws of London prevent it. They don't like competition. Still, there are temporary, half-legal hostelries and long-moored ships. Here we trade stories with suntan surface sailors, stories of Paris and Batavia, the lost fires and the final isles. We've gained one vision of the surface. I have no idea what's up there, but I'd love to go see, if we can live through it. And that is definitely a concern at this point. We could buy fuel here, but it's very expensive compared to how incredibly cheap it is just down south. So, out we go. We're going to head down and check out what's going on down here instead. Down in the Iron Republic. If everything goes according to plan, we should be perfectly safe in doing so. Generally, the Iron Republic has no qualms with us being there. But we'll investigate. And our trip to the surface could be very enlightening indeed. Hopefully, nothing incredibly dangerous is up there, but I guess we're just gonna have to go and take a look, because, like I said, I've never gone up there. I also don't know if it consumes the fuel just for the voyage. How do you make it back? Is that a prerequisite just to make sure you get stuck? I have no idea. I don't have a whole lot of echoes either, so I can't make a lot of purchases if I do get up there, but could be an interesting experiment anyway. Ooh. Heart of Snow. The chill of avid horizon runs deep in Boreas' lacquer, but even such primal cold cannot last forever. A worried face. Boreas has something to show us. That's not good. Boreas hurries us into the cargo hold. The walls are covered with charcoal marks. See? I'm shorter today. It is only a centimeter shorter than the previous mark, if that, but the worry is real. Every day it melts a little more. A tiny breeze stirs our hair and dies. The snow child is starting to thaw. Well, hopefully the Iron Republic has some information on how we can prevent him from thawing. If this is not the place, then I have no idea where we're meant to go. They said somewhere in the south, which is why I was interested in coming down this way, but I don't know. Gangway! The monkey foundling barrels down the corridors at full speed, giggling and clutching something in her hand. Boreas follows, cold on her heels, panting desperately between cries of, "Give it Aka Eth!" Well, you can't steal his teeth. That's a pretty important part of him, given that he's literally made of teeth and a little bit else. Games are fine, though, so I'm not going to get involved. A playful war. The monkey foundling spins, sticking out her tongue in triumph. Boreas glares at her and rips off a fist. An impromptu snowball that hits the foundling square in the face and knocks her flat on her bottom. Boreas laughs. The monkey foundling scowls, but only for a moment. Just long enough to flip back to her feet in one easy move. She's already packing the snow together. She grins, pulling back to return fire. We have one tooth of the snow child. Interesting. We can get hydrogen for the Empire of Hands here, but before we do that, let's just investigate the Iron Republic. We're not terrified enough to talk to this fellow. We can seek help for Boreas here. Oh, it costs 3 Centilak. But this is indeed where we need to be. That is good to know. We can allow our sailors time ashore here, but something horrible might happen. We've spent many days here. I don't know what happens if we hit 14. We can fund a tittering artificer's project, but that takes 12 double bone dice and 7 Stygian ivory. Interesting. Let's compile our port report. We've gained a tale of terror, memory of distant shores. And we've lost 2 hearts. Wow. The sensations of the Republic are overwhelming. This is a desire for years. This is a hatred for fountains. Here is an emotion that can only be expressed mathematically. Now you are awash with nostalgia for the hatching of the egg. Write it down. Write it all down. Perhaps you'll be rid of it. Well, that's not good. We can investigate the cavalry doctrine. We might have some things worth selling here. Let's see. We've gained 1 terror. We can visit the shops now. The House of Milks. Well, their fuel is not as cheap as I was hoping it might be. It's a little bit cheaper than back home, but it may suffice. I don't know if I can get enough, though. We are right on the limit of what we can actually equip ourselves with. Let's do a very silly thing. I don't think that's a good idea, but we're going to make the journey, whether we live through it or not. Let's go. We have to come back with some Scintillac, which I probably won't be able to afford, but if we can find some, it could be useful for saving our frozen friend's life. Let's keep moving, though. We also just fed the crew with one of those, so we're down from 6 to 5 already, which is worryingly low. But let's make our way back and see what we can do. Avoid sailing directly into Adam's Doom if we can, thank you very much. We also have some worrying things here. Restless nights. Let's investigate their dreams in the morning. This is a fairly standard setup here. We discover that they have the eyes and the face in the ceiling. 20 fragments and 10 terror. Well, just what we needed before making a dangerous journey to the surface. Just what we needed. Hopefully the surface will be a profitable place for us, but something tells me it'll be more of an enlightening experience than a profitable one. Since it'll cost us so much fuel just to get there. We'll see, though. We'll see. We sail into Gianotti Harbor. This time, though, we're making a journey I've never made before. Sailing all the way to the surface. Let's dock. I have literally no idea what we're getting ourselves into here, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Let's go. The canal ascends through locks and gates, and shadowed turns to the sunlight of the surface. The sun is dangerous to Neath dwellers like our crew, but the surface has its temptations. Let's do it. It didn't cost it all, I see. The coils of the earth. The engineers of the canal took advantage of existing caves and passages where they could. In ancient times, this was a passage to the underworld, they say, but still the labor must have been staggering. The story goes that the masters of the bazaar lent their arts and allies to the task, but the surface nations play down the fact. Certainly, some of the tunnels look blasted or tunneled, others look dissolved. Stone pigs, a stoker whispers. Stone pigs. We've lost 1 supply. A row of watchful Z-bats hang from a cable. Their heads swivel in unison as we cross the deck. The light is like nothing in the Neath. We've moved to a new area. We've lost 25 terror, and we've lost 10 fuel. Presumably, it's going to take us a supply and 10 fuel to get back. Well, the canal emerges in the little lake called a Vernis. A warm breeze ruffles blue waters. You and your crew shelter like vampires in the light with awnings, curtains, broad-brimmed hats, poplars, birdsong, the warmth of the Campanian sun. Well then, we can fill our mirror catch boxes here. Yes, this takes 10 fuel into 1 supply to make it back down. We can sail to Naples as well. Let's fill our mirror catch box. We have an empty one. We'll let it bask in the light until its baffles and convolutions brim with sun. The box will remain filled with light until it's opened, even underground. They do it with mirrors. We have 2 sunlight-filled mirror catch boxes now. Interesting. Let's sail to Naples. It only costs 1 fuel. We can afford the trip back, and hopefully we can afford enough fuel to survive the journey back to London. Who knows if we'll be able to afford anything else at that point, but we'll do what we can here. Let's go to Naples. Oh, we've lost a crew. In the vast expanse of the surface, without familiar echoes, our engine sounds strangely quiet. Our crew watches the white-walled farmhouses slip by. I could live there, one muses. Over there, grow olives or something, raise a family. Oh, I come over a bit funny. Just gonna sit down a moment. He collapses to the deck. His eyes roll back in his head, and a last long sighing breath goes out of him. The surface is restful, but your crew may die here. The longer you spend up here, the more may die. This includes you. We've lost a crew. We've arrived in Naples. We've lost a fuel, and we've lost 10 terror. Here we are in Naples. We could take a train ticket to Vienna. Huh. Even by night, the port of Naples is alive with shouts and laughter and work songs, the roar of engines. Brick warehouses loom over the moon-dazzled bay. By day, you try to stay below decks. The sun hits like a hammer, and the wind always seems to come straight from the struggling sewers of the slums. Parabola linen crumbles in sunlight. The mushroom wines of the Neath are not kindly received in the wine shops of Italy and France. Prisoner's honey loses all its virtue. But in the coffee houses of Vienna, dark drop coffee is the new sensation. It's not so very far by train. You could travel by night. Cost us 10 echoes to go there, but I don't think we will. We could spend time ashore. All the urges of the flesh may be satisfied here, and when that's done, perhaps your crew will find time to pray. We could purchase fuel. It's not so cheap up here, far from hell. 15 echoes, that's not terrible. We could purchase supplies. Up here, food grows freely under the sky, and the taste of it will make a nether weep. It's only 5 echoes for supplies here. That is an incredible price. That is an incredible price. Wow, I think you could probably make an insane amount of profit by selling these. These and mirror catch boxes. Because supplies sell for like 30 in some places, I think, down below. So if there are 5 here, that's a pretty huge return. But you'd need to have a much bigger supply capacity to really make any profit this way. But wow, let's grab a couple. All the fruits. Sailors lick their lips as the provisions come aboard. Warm rye bread, ripely blushing tomatoes, wheels of creamily irresistible cheese, cured hams that set the coxswain's nose twitching like a rabbit's. We'll eat well tonight. This also loses us terror, too. We can share some stories from below. We have stories of lost London. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Disbelief and fascination. A silent empress in a shuttered palace. Robed merchant princes in a spired bazaar. Serpents hiding in mirrors. No one believes a word, but you get lots of dinner invitations and a number of gifts. Your stories are serialized in the worst kind of magazine. A well-wisher sends you coal. We've lost 5 terror, we have an intriguing snippet, we no longer have our recent news, we've gained a supply and 2 fuel. That's a nice reward as well. What else can we do here? We can say goodbye to our scarred sister. Oh. How could I say no to a request like that? She taps you timidly on the elbow. You've been good to me, but here on the surface I want to see my homeland. Will you pay my fare? I would love to, but I still haven't had a chance to talk to you. I would like to know what you have to tell me before I let you go. We'll come back here. We'll come back here someday, and then we'll return you. For now, though, you have information that I'd love to learn, so I can't just let you go yet. We can return to Vernis if we want. We can carry cargoes around the Mediterranean if we really want. But I think this is probably not a wise course. I think what we're going to do is buy some supplies, because they're incredibly cheap here. And then we'll make our way back down below. for 1 fuel apiece, or five echoes apiece, it's hardly a cost. Even if we sell them at a great loss, it's still going to be ludicrously high. So it seems logical to buy as many as we can. I don't know how much space we have, but we've reached serene terror, which is pretty incredible given how much we were at before we tried to come here. We did have one of our crew just outright die, though. Wonder how much space we have left in our hold. Probably not a whole lot, but we can't check. Let's try buying until we can't buy anymore. We did spend a lot of things coming up here, so there's a good chance we can buy a ton of supplies. And that might get us a nice little turnaround. I think we're probably close to the cap now, though. We're at 20. I think we can get 4 more. If we want them. And then we'll be full up, with no more space for more. I think that's the last one we'll be able to buy. Or that one is. Alright, I have no idea how much stuff we have now. I thought we had 16 fuel. I do. How do we have 16 fuel and 26 supplies? We don't have that much cargo space. We only have 40 slots, and I know that's more than we have. Well, we'll spend some of it on the way back down, so I guess it doesn't matter. Something seems strange about this, though. We'll come back and return the Scarred Sister. We just need to make sure we have at least 100 echoes. I'd love to go see Vienna and some of the other places here, but I have a feeling that right now it's more important that we return home. It's, makes me worry about losing our crew here. We return to Vernis. We've lost 1 fuel, heading back. The bloody glory of a new sunset. Gulls crying above the foreland. The Sirocco? I don't think that's how you pronounce that one. I don't remember, though, for sure. Rising. Smudging the smoke of your engines across a sky of dusty rose. Have you survived another day? Yes, we have. Text up here says, even by night the port of Naples is alive with shouts and laughter and work songs. Oh, we've seen this already. Yes, we're good. Alright, we made it back to Avernus. It's time to return below. We need 10 fuel and 2 supplies to return below. If we have insufficient, we'll be trapped here on the surface. Thankfully, we can afford the trip back down. I thought there'd be a map up above, and we'd be able to actually sail around, but I suppose this works as well. It's good to know, though, that we can at least get supplies and fill our mirror catch boxes for no cost here, which is pretty remarkable. If we can afford the trips up to the surface, this seems like a way to make a ludicrously large amount of money quickly. For now, though, we'll return below. The sky is blue-hot metal. Cicadas buzz like a headache. This is no place for an honest sailor. Down we go. Hoo boy. Down into the dark and the quiet. No bird song, no surface wars, no raucous peasants. Still water, the glint of eyes. Much nicer. We're down to 5 fuel, but 25 supplies. So, we just purchased our supplies for 5, and here, surprise, surprise, you can sell them for 5 too. But I would not be surprised to learn at all that there was somewhere nearby that we could sell them for a ludicrous profit. Would not be surprised at all. I think what we're going to try and do, though, is... where do we want to go from here? We have very little fuel. Guider's Morn, I think, will buy our sunlight, but there might be somewhere better to sell it. That was a very interesting trip, though. If we can make some profit off of all of these things that we've bought, then we'll be able to potentially buy the Scintillac that we need to help our frozen friend. So, if we head to... I think we'll head to Guider's Morn and fall in London again, to see if we can't, make do. Also, now that our terror is gone, we can make the trip without our lantern lit, which means that we'll be able to conserve our fuel for longer, which will help out. There's a couple interesting things about this whole affair so far. I think the big challenge, though, is being able to reasonably afford the fuel and other associated costs to go up. If we're burning all of our money on getting our fuel and stuff recouped, that's not going to help us out too well, is it? Also, since we're not going to a number of different places, we're not going to get a whole lot of port reports to get our fuel and whatnot back for free. It is an interesting proposition, though. I have a feeling there's a lot of money to be made there. A lot of money indeed. Let's stop in at the island where we just visited here, Mutton Island, and see if they have any interest in the things that we carry. Obviously, we won't sell all of our supplies, but a good number of them could probably easily be parted with. If we drop in here at Quakers Haven, what would they buy them for? 5 still. I know somewhere will pay better than that. I know somewhere will. I thought there was a button that would tell us what the cost of these things was in London, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, we're going to head to Guiders Morn, because I'm pretty sure that's one of the places where you can get them for just that little bit more. So if we head over in that direction, we might be able to really make some profit. We'll see, though. We only have 4 fuel left, so making a long journey like this may be incredibly foolhardy, but we'll see. If we can get lucky and find a pirate or two on the way, we might be able to recoup our costs completely. We'll head up, though, to Station 3 and see how it looks from there. We are running very low on fuel, though. Very low indeed. We'll make our way up to Station 3, to Depot A. Let's see what they want. Interesting. Questions for the Acolyte. Rather than just doing errands for her, now we can talk with her a little bit. We can ask where the corpses come from. We can ask how the metal balls are formed. We can ask what becomes of the contents of the balls. We can ask why she sings, or ask how she came to be here. Let's ask how the metal balls are formed. Surely they aren't the product of disease. They're too mechanical for that. Sooth and Copper's Heartsease Tonic, she says. Take it when you're sad. Take it when there's something you don't dare speak about. Take it with wine or with laudanum, or take it straight from the bottle. It goes down warm, but it turns cold in the body. It forms around the thing you don't want to say and holds it in. From there, her explanation becomes more iatrotheological in nature. That's a word. There's something about the reaction of souls with a compound of silence and grief, and something about the circulation of the blood. She appears to believe these points explain why the metal sets hard, and why it takes different shapes in different bodies, and why some users find it necessary to keep drinking tonic all their lives, until their balls have grown as large as organs. That's quite a sentence right there. We can make notes about this. There's a great deal of what she says that you don't think you've heard any doctor mention before. We can make copious notes easily, or we can draw our own conclusions. I think I will draw my own conclusions. It's not a great success, but I have a feeling it's more valuable in the end. Then again, we're all about pages. Let's write it down. Okay, it's 50 fragments. Unfortunately, we are a quick hand with a pen. It might not make much sense to us, but to the right buyer in the right port, it's bound to be worth something. And that's all I can ask her for now. Well, it was interesting at least. It was interesting at least. And on we sail. It is running a little bit long, this episode, though. We're going to try and get to Guiders Morn, and then we'll probably stop there. I might even stop at Abbey Rock, because I didn't realize we've been going for about 40 minutes now, which is much longer than we normally do. The mysteries of the surface had me entranced there for a while. I think we will stop in at Abbey Rock and make our way onwards. when the opportunity presents itself. For now, though, we'll stop in at the Sisterhood. Interesting. Ships nearby as well. Today we dock. Do they have anything worth buying? Unlikely. We could buy things for a great price. For now, we'll compile a port report to make it a little bit easier. Here, we could buy supplies for 20 echoes, but we can't sell them at all. Well, fair enough. Can we do anything with this tooth? Not that we know. We'll see, though. For now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been Vanguard of Valor, playing a little bit of Sunless Sea for you. If you've enjoyed the episode as we make our way to the surface for the first time ever, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a like or a dislike, depending on what you thought of it, and feel free to subscribe if you haven't. Either way, I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye-bye.